it all the same and figure it out as we go along. Now, to start with, the first thing we have to do is send our heartfelt apologies because I somehow managed to use the same secret word twice. How does this happen? Okay, I know exactly how it happens. It's Jess not taking the time to read things properly, so whoops, my bad. I ended up giving you guys a double up. So as a remedy to that, I guess we can say, I am gonna have two secret words in this video. So one to stand in place of the one that we accidentally gave a double up, and one for this video, as is to be expected. Before we do that though, we are just gonna have a look at how my weekly's going. So in our last video, which came out, yesterday, which is the one that the secret word was stuffed up on, we set up this weekly spread, and in particular I gave myself a Dutch door with a lot more task space so that I could do my brain dump directly on to my weekly. And that seems to be working well so far. I decided to put it here just because I didn't want to have a massive just kind of like dump of tasks first thing on my weekly spread, which sounds a little odd because like that's the entire reason that I gave myself more space on the weekly, was to put that brain dump in. But I find that when I'm using my weekly spread, it kind of naturally tends towards like the things that I put first on the list are the things that I do earlier in the week, whereas this list is not necessarily ordered in that way, if that kind of makes sense. So I just tucked it in the back here so it wasn't the very first thing that I saw. I mean, some of them I've already managed to get done, but like the laundry, for instance, I know that one's not getting done until Sunday, so we can put a tick there for Sunday, or like a dot to kind of schedule it for that day of the week. And then meal planning typically happens on Saturday, but we might do it on Friday because we're a little busy on Saturday with a games afternoon for Vogel's. Vogel's colleagues are coming over, which should be a good time. I can see you guys in the chat there. Hello, it's such a pleasure to have you here. So, in terms of how this has been going, outside of the task list, everything else seems to be working fairly straightforwardly. The priorities list is pretty much full. We've got one space left, but that's okay. We've just got that in there, and technically we are doing the live plan with me, ha ha ha, so we can cross that off. Progress is being made! I'm very much trying to make this week kind of like a balance between being productive and just enjoying life, like not making myself too busy or too stressed out, because I'm starting to feel a little bit tired. It's only like week 3 of the term and I'm already just like, why isn't it on holidays yet? But it's fine. So for yesterday we did get prepped for tomorrow, so we can check that off. Did we actually do our teeth brushing and stuff? We were at least in bed by 11. So we went to bed fairly early. And I feel like we must have brushed it. Yeah, we totally did, because Vogel was watching a video when we came to bed, and we did our teeth brushing and we did our face care. Good job, us. So proud of me. Ha ha ha. Hello to everybody who's saying hello. It's always just nice to have you guys here. It's always nice to have people on the replay as well. I love comments too, but actually having people here for the live is always kind of exciting. It's kind of like we're just hanging out and planning together, which is nice. Check content planner. Didn't do that yesterday, but we need to do that today. Check actions and projects. Didn't happen yesterday because yesterday I kind of got home from work and I was going to be productive and then just decided not feeling it, plonked myself down on the couch, started doing some sketching out for my June setup instead. Watched some telly with Vogel, which it was a nice evening though. And thus I did not do any spending tracking. This morning, didn't hit snooze, got close to it but didn't do it. AM face care happened, skincare hasn't happened yet. Used my to-do list, yes I did, because I added some tasks in and checked them off. And checking off my habits is currently happening. Huzzah! Progress. Yeah, also updating your Bujo, fabulous. I wonder if are you guys planning with us as well, or are you just like chilling and watching, doing something else? Always curious to know what you guys are actually up to. I find that a lot of the time when I am watching YouTube videos. I'm really just pottering around in my planner and just kind of using the video as more like background noise, which is why I personally prefer to have videos that have talking rather than just the music ones, because if I'm gonna listen to music, I'm gonna pick my own songs. I'm not gonna go with the ones that are on somebody's you know, video. So back here I have a blank page, and I'm not honestly too sure at this stage what I want to do with it. I obviously I have like my homeworking slash office slash content creating kind of wish list here, but I'm not gonna need an entire another page for that. And then the last one I had the brain dump for my weekly reset, and then this kind of schedule for my tutor times with my tutor class. So I'm not too sure what I want to put in that blank space just yet. Something cool that I saw though, so I was watching a flip through video from Mark of Men Who Bullet, and he used to put a sticky note at the front of his journal to say any of the open pages in his journal and like where they were. So if he ever needed a single page, he could just flip to one of those ones that wasn't full yet and put it in there. And I thought that was pretty cool. The only issue is that the Ultra and Olive pages aren't numbered, so I don't have an easy way to reference where that page is. I also know that whatever I put here, I'm gonna want to have in the same style as this one. Like, I'm gonna want to have the green border. I'm actually very tempted just to put the green border in now, so that then I can just kind of call it an open page and then possibly use it at a later date. We will think about this later, but yes. Ooh, a live for your June setup. That's cool. I totally am a fan of saving yourself on editing. Like, I was supposed to release the Plan With Me video for the June, like, the giveaway bullet journal, the June giveaway journal, does that make sense? I was supposed to release the video for that on the weekend, but the thought of having to voice over it after I've been doing these more like chatty style videos where I just kind of have not so much like a stream of consciousness, but it's just like I'm just talking, and then going from that to actually having to do a proper voiceover was a giant turn off. I'm just like, I don't want to make the video now because I just don't want to have to do the voiceovering. Voiceovering is like the bane of my existence. I just do not enjoy it. I like the end product, but I don't like actually having to do the thing. There we go. So in terms of pages to fill out here, we're getting up to date with school admin. We're not there yet. Finding a new healthy dinner I like. If you guys have any recommendations for healthy dinners that you enjoy, I would love to hear them because I'm bad at branching out. I'm bad at branching out into new things. For week 2, we did do the inbox 0, which was good. We did our weigh-in. The weekly reset happened, which was good. The office tidy, I'm gonna give myself like a semi kind of check there. It kind of happened, but not to the extent that I realistically wanted it to. Drink break. Meal planning did happen. Scheduling exercise, I feel like I'm just trying to keep myself blissfully ignorant of the fact that I'm you know, supposed to be doing this and just not doing it, and just kind of ignoring the fact that I should be scheduling myself some exercise time. Exercise, also a huge turn off, but that's fine. Now, we've got that one done. These ones get checked off on my daily, so that's cool. My challenge is going to like varying degrees of completion. Like, some days I get in and do it, some days I don't. So, like, for instance, Sunday and Monday haven't filled in. I'm just like probably just chill time. Chill time can be the thing that I'm grateful for. So yeah, if you guys missed it, my challenge for this month is to fill in something that I'm grateful for each day. So kind of like a daily gratitude log kind of a thing. Do I like salads? It depends. If it's fried potato salad, which is effectively just a bowl of fries, heck yes, I love salad. I don't dislike salad. I'm just very picky with salad, I think is a better way to word it. So we have briefing happened, that's good. Staff meeting happened, that's good. We have our live today, so we can add that one in. Where is my pen? I think it's in here. My beautiful pencil case that Monica gave to me. Thank you, Monica. There you go. Get my beautiful dot pen out, which I love. I love these dot pens so much. So we've got our live stream here. We'll put that in. I think I've been better this month with actually keeping up to date with my monthly log as well. So that is a small win for the month. We have Boudreaux Wednesday tomorrow and briefing. Thursday, I don't believe we have anything on just yet. Friday, don't think we have any plans as of current. Yeah. May reflection. I haven't done my rating for last week just yet. So in terms of my health rating, I'm probably going to give myself the same. I've been pretty slack when it comes to my health, if I'm completely honest. By this in particular, I'm meaning physical health. So just kind of not filling my body with goodness in terms of food, yeah? Which, you know, not doing my exercise, not drinking enough water, a little bit better with water, just a little bit, but nothing to write home about. Career goal, we are going to say that we are probably at a similar level to the week before, so we're tracking along, we're in the more positive space, you know, actually getting stuff done that I need to get done, but not quite where I would like to be in terms of that progress. That's okay. Book club. Now, I have finished chapter 1, and I am partway through chapter 2, so we can colour in 1 at least. There we go. Beautiful, just using the minty green. And I still want to go and write in the title of the chapters. I actually borrowed the book from my library today so that I could read a physical copy of the book, because I was finding the audiobook a little bit hard to listen to. I'm not too sure why that is. I think it's possibly just like, how am I going to word this? I think that the first chapter in particular, it feels like you're not really part of the story. You're kind of just an outsider looking in. And I think that's partially because of the level of dialogue is very low. I'm really not too sure though. Let's see. My career goal, oh, that's a secret. I can't tell you that. It's kind of mainly to, like, in terms of career in general and like work in general, it's looking to build up more of what I do with our content creating and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my main focus at the moment, is like, how do we grow what I do in terms of my content creation, while also not being a scatterbrained mess at school. That would be nice, actually staying on top of the stuff that I need to do there. I went to the library, okay, calm down. I went to the school library, which is literally like 2 doors down from my office. But it was the first time I borrowed a book from my school library. So they were kind of like shame on you at me a little bit, but they, they were more than happy to help me out with getting my book, which was exciting. Let's see, that was last week, that's the homeworking wish list, and then that is this week. Yay! And we can tick off that our live stream is obviously happening now. Fabulous. What type of camera do I use? Good question. I am on my phone. So this is this guy here that you guys are viewing through. This is my iPhone. I think it's an 11 Pro? Yeah, no. I think it's the 11 Pro. Yeah, I haven't upgraded myself to an actual camera yet. I keep meaning to. I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, water bottles that remind you to take a drink are cute. I also like the ones that have markings on the side to tell you how much, like, what volume there is. So you can kind of set yourself goals, like, for certain times of the day where you drink a certain amount by that time, if that makes sense. Yeah. Alright. No, Monica, I have not signed up at the public library. I'm still, like, personally against it. I have nothing against libraries in general. I think libraries in general are actually fabulous. It's, like, a very, very good idea. Good job, society, on libraries. The only reason that I have a thing against libraries is because when we moved to New Zealand, my dad went to get me, my brother, maybe my mum, like the family, he went to go and get our library cards, but they wouldn't let you have different last names on the library cards, and I don't have the same last name as my dad. So my library card said Jessica Davies instead of Jessica Ciacci. So I was, like, morally opposed. I'm like, nope, that's not my name, this isn't my library card, I refuse to use it. And yeah, so then since I moved to Wellington, I haven't borrowed a book from the library because I have a pointless kind of grudge against them. Okay, team. So the secret word from yesterday, which I gave to you as productive, was supposed to be practical. So we're just going to scratch out the one from yesterday. It's supposed to be practical. We'll put that one down instead. And eventually I will give you the secret word for today's video. One of the things that I wanted to do today, so one of the, what's the word for it? I can think of this. It's like an aim, purpose, objective. That's the word. One of the objectives for today is to decide on a color palette for my June setup. Yes. So for those of you who aren't aware, my June setup is going to be a Pride theme, Pride with a twist, but I'm not too sure if I actually want to do a like rainbow theme or if I want to pick one of the other Pride flags and use the color palette from that one instead. So we're going to pull up some Pride flags on my computer. Not that you guys will be able to see it because you guys are facing downwards, but that's fine. You can pull them up on your computer if you want to see them. And we're going to have a look at what color palettes I possibly could use for my setup. Now, I'm going to need to bring that up in another window. Let's see. Because, like, I love rainbows, don't get me wrong. I'm all about rainbows. But I just thought it might be nice to have a color palette that was tied to a different Pride flag. So we're going to have to get out a piece of paper to do some swatching. We're also going to have to get out my long-term collections journal because that's where I keep all of my actual pen swatches. We're probably going to stick to Tombows just because it's going to be a little bit easier than trying to jumble up all of the different pens that I have. So we'll grab out my long-term collections book. The Bisexual flag is gorgeous. That's kind of the one that I'm like possibly the most tempted to use, but I thought that we would put it to a little vote. We'll see what you guys think. There we go. The list that I use most often, do you mean in terms of like in my journal? That's a good question. Like, do you mean outside of my weekly spreads and stuff? Because my weekly is probably the one that I use the most, but okay, so here are our pen colors. I'm gonna need another piece of paper that we can actually swatch onto. So I think we will take one of the offcuts from a Dutch door that I made. We'll use this one. I obviously cut a little tab out when I did this one, but we're gonna swatch onto here. Wondering if we don't move our other journal out of the way, because we don't really need him right now. Goodbye, other journal. There we go. Any Pride groups that you actually know people from? So yes. I have one of my good friends is gay, so his would be the, I don't know, typical rainbow flag I take. I know a couple of transgender people. I wouldn't say that they're like close friends or anything, but I do know people who are transgender. I have at least one or two people that I know who identify as non-binary. I'm not too sure if I have any lesbian friends. Unsure. Actually, now I'm questioning it. Is the gay flag actually the rainbow flag, or is that supposed to be inclusive for all, like, people of the LGBTQIA plus community? Now I'm confused. I'm going confused myself. Is that just like the all-inclusive Pride flag? Question mark. Anywho, I am going to drop this down a little bit so you guys are a little bit closer so we can actually see the journal a little bit closer. So apologies for any noises made by my beautiful ring light. He likes to make screeching noises, so apologies to headphone users. There we go, beautiful. And we'll just move him out of the way a little. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's an all-inclusive one, and I know that there's, yeah, the all-inclusive one that also has, like, the stripes for, our, like, transgender persons and, people of color as well. Yeah, nice. So, let's get out some pens, let's do some swatching. Come on, Tombos, you are required. So, if I was going to do the, like, overall pride flag, and in the assumption that I want to do it with like an actual red rather than a pink, because my typical rainbow palette that I use uses pink instead of red. It's this color here in particular that I usually use, the 755, which might show up as red on camera, but it is actually a little bit more pinky kind of colored. So if we were doing actual rainbow flag, we'd probably use 845 possibly, which mine's a little bit washed out, but you guys get the idea. It's a little bit, there we go. Yeah, so that would be the red that we'd use probably. In terms of the orange, my old favorite orange used to be 933, but my new favorite orange is 925. I used to kind of think that 925 was a little bit too kind of cool tone possibly. But now I kind of like the saturation of it. So that would be my orange. I had a moment there, I'm like, oh my god, there is orange in the flag, right? Okay, yes there is. My go-to yellow is always 025, which in certain situations kind of looks a little bit more orangey, but I think that when you put it next to a true orange, it certainly shows up looking yellow. Yeah. Use bright colors for the flag since that would be the most realistic. See, the issue I find is that, like, 055 is just, in terms of a yellow, is, like, too aggressive in my mind. But I'll put it on our swatch anyways. Like, it just shows up. Have you guys seen Bananas in Pajamas? Like, that's kind of what it reminds me of, and it makes me just... I'm not sure. It's a possibility. Maybe. The green of the flag is kind of darker than the green I've been using. I'd probably say it's probably closer to a 195 than it is to a 173. So that would probably be the color it would be. Where is my 195? That one I've been using for my May setup. I mean, well, I used it in my May setup. I haven't been using it in my weeklies, but that's more the color that you actually see on the flag. So that one possibly. We'll put you back in the Tombow holder because you don't need to be in the pencil case. And then the blue that's on the flag is actually a lot darker than I would typically use for the rainbow. Like if I'm picking rainbow colors, typically I would pick the 515, which is like kind of more of a medium blue. But if you actually look at the flag, their blue is a fair bit darker. So possibly even a 535 or maybe a 476. We'll put out some options. Okay, so 476 is this guy here, which I think is probably a closer match than the other one's going to be, but we'll put the other one out as well. So 535. Yeah, I think that guy might be a little too dark, but bananas in pajamas, I'm coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas. Okay, purple. The purple's kind of dark as well, and I don't really think that the purple range of the Tombos is that good, if I'm completely honest. As somebody who likes purple, and you kind of see all the variations in the blues that we have, purples, like, we've got a very blue purple, a kind of darker purple, and then some kind of magenta-ish colors, but nothing, no real good, like, no good medium lavender. Like, that's probably the closest that you have. Not that I'm looking for a medium lavender right now, but still. There's things that are lacking. Things that I feel are necessary. In terms of the purple on the flag, though. So, if we're going with the modern pride flag, the closest match is probably... It's a really red purple, isn't it? Because it's not even... 636 is too blue to be a good match. And if that's too blue, then 606 is way too blue, I think. It's much more of a red purple, but then I know that 676 is going to be too washed out. Well, at least I think it's going to be too washed out. Like, if I put this down on the page, it doesn't really look saturated enough, in my mind. Because the purple that, like, is my go-to purple is usually 665. That's the purple that I typically put in a rainbow, but that's going to be too bright for what we're doing. But rainbow is one of our possibilities. Then one of our other possibilities that we talked about was the idea of using the bisexual pride flag. So that one is just a 3-color palette, which would be pink, blue, and purple. 685, do you guys reckon? I'll put 685 out as well. 685 is a bit more red, but it's also very magenta-ish. So it is pretty though. It's a pretty color. So if we go on to the bisexual pride flag and actually looking for the pink, I think, because the pink of the pansexual flag is really vibrant, whereas the bisexual pride flag isn't as vibrant, or at least on the reference I'm looking at. It really, I guess, depends on which one you're looking at, because in some variations they look fairly similar, and in some variations the bisexual one looks a little bit more subdued. Oh, frogs. Frogs are great. I like frogs a lot. I also just appreciate that frogs can come in, like, a range of different colors other than just green. But even then, like, green frogs are pretty damn cute too. Let's see. Which purple do you reckon we'd use for the bisexual pride flag? Because again, if I look at the references online, all of those purples look a little bit more chill. But at the same time, I don't want to... It's that kind of balance of, like, getting a color palette that is a more true representation and not ending up with colors that don't work together outside of a flag. Does that make sense? Let's see. In terms of a pink, I'm gonna slap down 725, which is quite bright, but it's also pretty. So so we'll put that one down, 725. We might change it. I'll put 743 down as well, just in case. Just in case we want to go with that one instead. All right. So 743 and 725 are the two possibilities we have here. I think that our 725 is more cool tone than our 743 is. My favorite squares are empty. Yeah, they are, I know, right? I haven't filled them in yet, which is just slack of me because I already know what my favorites are. Like I said, if it's my rainbow, it's 755, it's 925, it's 025, 195, 515. I think they all end in 5, 665. I need to get a new N89. I'm so bummed that it ran out. It's such a good grey. Anywho, now we need a blue. And the blue of that flag is very similar to, I feel like, this one rather than the other blue that we had. It is a bit darker. So that one's going to be 535. Poink, poink. I'm just going to put it out twice because we can kind of see which one we prefer. I'm starting to lean towards the top possibility rather than the bottom one. I feel like that pink and that blue kind of go together better. But then we need to pick a purple. And the purples are the hardest part because we don't have a good range of purples. I'm just going to check. Do we have a better range of purples than, like, the Karen markers maybe? Like maybe the 197? That is pretty. I do like that a lot. For the sake of simplicity, let's just stay over here for now. I think that 685 is possibly too pinky. And then 676 is more subdued, which is kind of more like what the flag looks like, but again, I don't know if I really like that color. 679 is completely off the cards, but okay, we'll chuck this guy down. What do we reckon, team? Do we reckon that that's a pretty okay match, or do we try a different one? I might put out the 665 anyway. We'll just put it at the top, which I think that one might be a little bit too light. And then we'll put the 685 at the bottom. I think I'm kind of warming to it. That middle option isn't too bad. Let's see. Can you guys see it? So our possibilities in terms of our pen colors. Yeah, the camera does distort the color a little bit. I'm actually not as unkeen on it as I kind of thought. You think the 606 looks really close to what you see? Alright, well we can put the 606 out as well and see what that looks like. We'll draw some possibilities. So I think we're pretty much sold for, if we go with the Bisexual flag color palette, pretty much sold on that pink and that blue together. So we'll put some options out for those. And then we will have a look at the possible purples. So the purples that we're toying around with are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll say. So we'll put out 5 little options for ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Looks like a little robot man. It kind of does, doesn't it? I love it. Alright, we got that one, and then we can put the blues out. Give it a double swipe for the saturation purposes. So our options that we are putting in here, we're going to put in 676. We're going to put in 665, 685, 636, and 606. Those are the options. All right. So starting with 676, which was our middle option from up the top there. And attempting to not draw on yourself, Jessica. And then 665, which, although it is the purple that I typically use, I don't think it's going to be suitable for this one. I don't think it actually looks quite right. Not that it's the easiest to see on camera, but yes. And then 685, which I'm not opposed to. I like the vibrancy of it, but I think it kind of, unsure yet. We will continue on. 3, 6, so 636. So that purple is a lot more blue tone than the other one is. And then the last option, 606, but that's going to be very blue toned, so those are our possibilities. Am I just going mad and people just like, they're all the same color, like just pick one? This is an important choice. This is for the entire month I have to deal with this color palette. So these are our options in terms of our possible purples for our color palette. So I think to start with, we can rule out 665. 665 is not going to be the one that I go with, just because, like, although it's my favorite, I think that it doesn't match with this blue. If the blue was a brighter blue, I'd probably go with 665. Let's see. I feel like we're going to need to just put it to a poll. We're going to put up a poll, team. So, let's see. Tiny poll, tiny poll. Which purple should we use? And the options are 676 or 685 or 636 or 606. And the reason that we've already eliminated 665 as the option is because you can only put 4 options in a poll, which is sad. Alrighty, so we'll hold it up nice and close so you guys can see. So these are your options without 665. He doesn't count. But the other ones are there, and I would love to hear your opinion as to which color should be part of our color palette. It seems like we do have a majority at the moment, but we also only have 5 votes. Oh, now we've got 17. Oh, it's coming in tight. Let's see. Oh, nobody's for 606. And I think it's just because that purple and the blue of 606 look real similar. You wouldn't really get a good variation in color there. Maybe not so much. Oh, so 685 seems to be in the lead. So it's that versus 676. I would be a really terrible sports commentator. Sports commentating is not in the cards for me. It is not what my future holds. Alrighty. So you guys have had enough time looking at it. You guys can vote. We'll leave the poll up there. Yeah, but come on. Yeah, no, there was an overwhelming majority for 685, but the 676 is coming up on it. So have a think, put your vote in, but that's one of the possibilities. So one possibility for our color palette is the general pride flag, so the rainbow, and then the other option we have here is the bisexual pride flag, so the purple, the pink, and the blue. Now, other options we could do the transgender pride flag. And the transgender pride flag, whoa, that wasn't word. I'm sorry. I just, zapped out. I was like the tiny robot. Wires got fried. As I was saying, the transgender pride flag has 3 colors. One of them is white, though. So, I'm not too sure how we would incorporate that into our color palette. But the other 2 colors we have are a pink, which is more like it's like a baby pink, like a subdued kind of pink. And then the other one is like a pale blue. So probably closest to 452 and possibly 772 or 761. Let's have a look. So this one here is 761, which is kind of, okay, actually, I think 761 probably fits the bill pretty well. And then the other one would be that kind of baby blue kind of color of 452. And then the other color is white. So, get in the hole. Are you going to use the lighter yellow for the rainbow? I know I should if I'm gonna do it, but my body's telling me I need to do that one. But yeah, I probably would have to go with the yellow one instead, possibly. And then if I'm gonna do a blue, it's gonna be that blue, and if I'm gonna do a purple, it's gonna be probably that purple. If I'm remaining kind of true to color palette, yeah, we'll swatch out the asexual pride flag as well. We're gonna swatch a couple of them. So our transgender pride flag is as such. So we have the pink, the blue, and the white, colorless. Can't use a white gel pen for the whole month. I'll just stick a whole bunch of blackout paper into my journal and do it that way. Because that's how I did the flag from last year. I'll get my journal out. If I can remember which one it is. Wherefore art thou, journal? And our secret word for today is silly. So, last year I did a pride flags theme because I liked the idea of having a whole bunch of different flags. The only problem I found was one of the things that I like to keep consistent throughout the month is my color palette to try and tie all my pages together. But if you're using all of the pride flags, you don't have a consistent color palette. So last year we had our kind of flags made out of love is love. So we had the ally flag and the pride flag, the rainbow one. We then had the transgender pride flag. So you can see I did it with the stripes on the calendar. So we've got the blue and then the pink, the white, the pink, and the blue, which I thought looked really cute, but I hate blackout paper. Okay, I don't hate blackout paper, I just don't like writing on it. Writing on blackout paper is like the bane of my existence. And then we had the, remind me, who are you? I'm bad at remembering off the top of my head. This is the asexual pride flag, yeah? Because it's got the grey and the purple, yep. Asexual pride flag, and then this must have been, the intention was, I guess, the aromantic pride flag, because it was going to be the 2 shades of green, the white, the grey, and the black, from memory. Again, I apologize if that is not correct. And then on this one, we were doing the, oh, my memory escapes me. We're going to have to look it up. Is this intersex? No. Gender fluid. Yeah, gender fluid, sorry. They've got the labels just smack bang in the middle of the flag, so I'm like, which one am I looking at? There we go. This one must have been the gender fluid one, yeah. And then on the end, I just kind of got lazy, and I just did, like, a rainbow one again. And I think this is why I didn't like it, is because these things don't really seem to tie together well. Like, these guys all have the really bold text, which worked nicely. But then I got to this one, and because, like, I was just overdoing journaling stuff, I just slapped some stuff down, which meant it didn't match. And then for all of the days, all of my calendar months, I put in July instead of June. So for these ones, I was doing like the tricolor flags. So we have the pansexual pride flag, and then the polysexual pride flag, yeah. And then the bisexual pride flag. So I obviously used, which purple did I use last year? Probably 636, but that's not in the lead this year. And then the last one we have is the genderqueer, I think. Genderqueer pride? Yeah. But like I said, the thing that kind of got me is that I didn't have a consistent color palette the whole way through. And that's why I just want to pick one this year. I just want to go with one. Yeah. Always Bujo into the max. That's right. Hardcore Bujo or GTFO? Nah, I'm kidding. You guys can Bujo as extremely or non-extremely as you want to. So, we have our 1, 2, 3. Let's see. If we did a different one, which one would it be? So, I'm probably not going to go with a polysexual pride flag. Not for any reason against the polysexual pride flag, more so just the color palette is not for me. I don't really want to go with pink and green and blue. That wouldn't be something I want to work with in the month coming. The pansexual pride flag, possibly. We'll put the colors out anyways, because I think that's going to use like the same kind of color pink as we had above. Like, it seems to be that kind of bright color. For the yellow, that's probably the brighter yellow rather than my favorite yellow. But that's okay, we'll put that bright yellow in there. And then in terms of the blue, it's actually, it's not as, at least it doesn't look to be as paler blue as the transgender flag, but how do you manage to continue using color throughout the month? I find that the color one's not too bad, provided I pick myself a color palette that I like. Like, if I like the color palette enough, I don't find it too bad to use it throughout the month. I also need to have at least 3 colors, I find. Seems to me that you should not be doing a rainbow, yeah. I like rainbows in general, as long as I can actually put everything in rainbow order. Like, as long as I can have my Roy G. Biv, I'm usually okay with it. If it's just like a whole mix of colors and I only use some of them on some pages and not on the other, that would make me kind of like, wah. Where's my blue? Which blue are we going with? Okay, I'm gonna put this one down because I think that that's the closest we've got. Because that one's just a little bit too dark. You just kind of have to build the color up a bit more, and then it seems to fit quite well. So that one there is for our pansexual pride flag. Let's see. January was rainbow. January last year was rainbow. What did we do this January? This January was simple. This January was super simple stuff. Yeah, last January, we did a rainbow theme, but the very next month, we decided to go with bees. Dun, dun. Anyways, okay, so rainbow theme. I love a good rainbow. I love a good rainbow color palette, for sure. I just have some particular preferences when it comes to my rainbow. So we had like little rainbow tracker, little rainbows in the back, and we had like little rainbows. Like, I do like the fact that the word rainbow has enough letters to actually color out the rainbow. That makes me happy. We had the little rainbow motifs here and the little blending. Like, I loved this. I thought it was super great. But this wasn't my pride theme. This was just because I wanted to do rainbows. I like my bright colors, especially with my black outlining and my contrast and stuff. And you could have the 7 days of the week and then do each of them in like a different rainbow color as well. Just, so much love. But that was last year. Get out of here. What other possible flags could we go with? So we could do the non-binary flag. So that one would be the yellow and then white. So we'll just draw in a pencil box. And then we've got the purple for the non-binary pride. And that one is, again, no good medium purples. Gosh dang it. Grr. I wonder if we can just build up enough color with the 603. Kind of like a lavender-esque purple. There we go. That looks close-ish. And then the last one is like a dark gray color. It's not a black. Or at least on my version of it, it's not a black. Wait a second. I feel like I might just be looking at a washed out image here. Alrighty. Non-binary flag. We got to do our research here. This is important. Okay, so the majority of the ones that I find are gray. But then on the description here, it says black. I'm just going to make it a really dark gray. So then we can kind of just say it's either way. There we go. A dark gray. So that would be that color palette. I don't know how I feel about yellow and purple together. I know that they are, what's the word called? Is it complementary when they're opposite each other on the color wheel? Let's see. And I think then when we start to get to like, I feel like with the color palette, I really want to use one that's only 3 colors, which means that I'm kind of limiting my possibilities to bisexual, polysexual, pansexual, transgender, and genderqueer. And I feel like genderqueer with the purple and the green together probably isn't what I'm looking for. So really, I guess we're kind of tossing up between pansexual pride, bisexual pride, or transgender pride. And I think that from your poll, from the polling options, you guys decided that this one was the one to stay. That was the one to keep. Good job on your polling team. Always appreciate your input. So now the question is, you can do all the other flags in the coming years for Pride Month. Yeah, exactly. We'll just do like one a year for the next many years. many years. So now it comes down to the crunch time, okay? Now we need to pick the actual color palette. So these 3 are our options. We're gonna flip over and we're gonna draw them out again so that we can see them a little bit bigger, just so that we have them there for us. So the first one here is going to be, we'll just draw a box of color. Squick, 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 all the way home. Okay, so pink, and we also need a pink for the pansexual pride, just to make sure that I don't have to get the pens out again. Save myself some time. That looks pretty cute. We have the yellow for the Pansexual Pride. Go, little yellow box there. And we have the blue. And we need to build the color of that blue up a bit to make it a bit more saturated. Unlike on our transgender pride flag, where it doesn't need to be as built up, because that's more of a baby pale blue. Punk, punk, punk. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. And we still need a... Which purple did we pick? Okay, we gotta put the right button down, otherwise anarchy. Alright, 685. Which I am warming to. I do think that is a very pretty purple. I should really use this one more often. It's actually quite pretty. And the blue that we chose was you, my friend. Squeak, 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 squeak. Squeak, squeak, squeak. And then the pink. And the pink that we chose was the 761 for our transgender flag. Click. And a white box. So these are the options that we have to pick from. We have the bisexual pride flag at the top. We then have the pansexual pride flag in the middle. And then at the bottom we have the transgender pride flag. So we're putting up a poll. Which color palette should we use? And then we're going to say bisexual pride. We have pansexual pride. Or we have TTTT. Transgender pride. Nice. There we go. Ugh. I can't get rid of the awkward fourth option. There we go. We'll just put it in as awkward fourth option. Do you swatch this much before all your videos? Some of them. Like, some of them I do a lot of swatching out beforehand. A lot of them I'll go in with a kind of, like, specific thing in mind, rather than, like, trying to pick the perfect colors. For the most part, I'm not trying to match it to anything either. Like, because for these ones in particular, we're trying to match it to the flag colors, there's a little bit more planning involved in that, if that kind of makes sense. I will also note that I'm going into winter. I do think that spring and summer colors are very, very pretty, but it is currently pissing down rain where I am because we are at the butt end of autumn. I don't mind doing seasonal things out of season for me. It doesn't really bother me so much. I like awkward fourth option. Yeah, I press the button to add another option rather than to post the poll, and then I'm like, I can't get rid of it now, so we'll just have the awkward fourth option. It's all good, Deborah. I just thought I'd let you know. But I think we've done a pretty good job with our color palette picking, though. These look pretty close to what the flags actually look like, I think. I think we've done a pretty good job. I'm also wondering, like, well, not wondering, but I'm considering whether these color palettes work best on white paper as well. Like, I think that our transgender pride flag colors worked really well on the blackout paper, and they really popped, because you kind of have the, like, pastelish kind of color, which looks a lot brighter on black. Does that make sense? Whereas these guys here are a little bit more saturated, so they kind of show up a little bit better against the white. But yes, always keen to hear your opinions on those things, though. Do you guys want a little sneak peek of what the theme's gonna look like? I've started sketching it out. In fact, I've actually got a video that was supposed to come out like yesterday or today or whatever, where I did the kind of sketching out process, because that's something that people ask me a lot about. They're like, oh, you should show us sketching out the journal layout rather than just setting it up. But the amount of erasing I do, guys, it takes me a hot minute to do any of my sketching in, because it's just like, it's hardcore. Anywho, I will go put my pens, my beautiful pens, back onto my trolley, and then we will go and have a look at a little sneaky peek. Alright, onto the trolley with you, my friend. Crouch, crouch, crouch. Oh, I suppose we actually need to think about what other complementary colours we could put with that, because I'm like, we've got the 3 colours there, which is pretty cute, but I probably want to have a paler option to do things like drop shadows or like outlining boxes and stuff like that, but that might be a future me problem. So, where's me journal? Bring him back. Bring back me journal. Now we're quite close, because obviously I zoomed you guys in by physically moving the camera towards the journal, but we'll see if we can have a little cheeky look at some stuff to come. So the theme that we're going for the month ahead is love potions. So kind of like a little play on words there to just make it a little bit more fun, to give us something a little bit out of the ordinary kind of a thing. Now, the problem that I found with a potions-esque theme is that anytime you look up a potions theme, it's very Halloween-y, and I don't want this to look Halloween-y. So I've kind of mixed it, like mainly it's just glassware. Mainly we're thinking about like round bottom flasks, like you get in a science lab, and then filling the potion vials of those with the colors that we've picked. So I kind of figured that we'd have like the solution cut into 3 segments, and then have like, if we go, I think that it's pretty much winning now. So we're probably going with bisexual pride. So you'd have a pink layer, a purple layer, and then a blue layer, which would be kind of cute. So this is kind of what we're playing around with for my monthly log at the moment. You can barely see it, but we've kind of got the little bottles going up the side, and we've got some little leafy doodles and stuff like that. Just to kind of like, you know, fill in space, make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more decorative. That's kind of like my plan at the moment. Haven't really done a lot outside of that. Like, I've written out my projects list kind of a thing, so that's just sitting in there. And I've gone and pre-cut in my little tabs because it just helps in the planning process. It makes it a little bit easier. We'll probably put some like possibly purple washi tape on that or something, but I haven't really filled in the rest of it. I've got my review title, I've got a notes section, notes title, and then we've got my little potion bottles there. But yeah, it's not too shabby. It's looking pretty cute, I thought. I'm glad that we've picked out the colour palette though. That makes me feel like more at peace. So one thing that we're going to... People are allowed to pick the awkward 4th option. I think it's great. Could have smoke coming out of the little bottles for the colours. Yeah, so something like that would be kind of cute as well, eh? I do want to... yeah, have those actual potion itself be our flag colors as much as possible. But I'm not too sure if like if we're going to do like what's the word? I completely lose my train of thought because I start talking and then I start reading. So what I'm kind of thinking, you see I've just been drawing out some little bottles here because I'm just having a play. There will be no cobwebs because cobwebs are Halloween-y. So I was kind of thinking, like, if we just get out my circle stencil here. So we draw in a bottle like so, roughly, and we'll just, that was that one. So we'll go, is that smaller? Yeah, it's kind of smaller. We'll just put it like there-ish. So do kind of like that kind of a shape. Get out of here. And then have like curving up over there kind of a thing. So we'd have like the top of the liquid here, so you can kind of see that. And then the bottle kind of curves up like this. And we'll put like a little stopper in him. Kind of a thing. little bottle stopper, which is kind of cute. And then in the solution itself, we would like section out spaces to be the different flag colors, if that kind of makes sense. Not in this pen though, because this pen is like not watertight at all. It will bleed through into the colors and make a mess, and we don't want that. But if we take our pen colors here, it means that you then just fill in the top layer as that top layer of the flag. The flag does start with pink, yeah, I'm not crazy. There we go, pink at the top. And I wouldn't necessarily put the black lines in the middle. I'd just probably have the colors butt up against each other. I could possibly even put in white lines or something like that, would be kind of cute. And then we'll have the purple. And then we'll have the blue, like that. And then it's just a question of whether I want to put the pink on top. And this is why I was thinking we might need to have the lighter version of each of the colors. I'm just gonna double down on the color here to make it a bit more saturated, and then try and do a one wash over. There we go. But you guys kind of hopefully get the idea there. So it would be kind of cute. I thought it would be kind of cute. And then possibly add in some like white highlights or something like that. Do I have a white pen handy? My pencil case is such a mess, guys. Like, it just makes me so sad. I've got too much stuff in here. Now I can't find anything because I've got so much stuff everywhere. There we go. Get out. Back into the pencil case with you. Gold highlights, that'd be kind of cute. So I was kind of thinking like, do your little white highlight down the side here, do like a little, just to make it kind of look more like a glass, like stand out a little bit. And I wouldn't necessarily do it with the gel pen either, because the gel pen seems to pick up the color of the Tombos really well, which isn't really what I want. Link, put in some little highlighty bits there, which is kind of cute. Yeah, would be kind of fun. And then we could possibly make it look a little bit like, a little bit more potionsy with like some little bubbly bits or something like that. But yeah, so that's essentially what we're planning, but you know, that's for later. That's not for right now. And I do need to make sure that whichever pen I use for doing this outlining, it has to be watertight, because otherwise it will totally blend together. So Abby has the question, will you blend the colors or leave them as distinct bands of color? My plan was to leave them as distinct bands just because it kind of ties in with the flag a little better. Like the flag doesn't have the gradient, so I wasn't really planning on doing the gradient. But what I was planning on doing is using the colors again in my headers. So maybe every letter would be a different color letter, if that kind of makes sense. So I do like, what's a word that I can do? I can't do any words. Let's not lie to ourselves, Jess. We don't do brush lettering. So like we do M and then like curve that up. And then the O would be another color. Like O. There you go. And then it would curve over into the N. There we go. And then we could do a little bit like of a blending kind of in between there to make it look like they kind of transition to each other a little bit better, if that kind of makes sense. So that's kind of what I was planning for the lettering itself, rather than in the potion bottles. Yeah, make them blend into each other. Or even if it's not necessarily separate letters, maybe make it a gradient through the letter. So start with a really faint, I don't even think this is going to work because my pen is so incredibly deceased, but do really light lettering with the like light grey pen first. And then, yeah, it's so dead you can't see anything. and then color in the letters from the top down. So have like the top of each letter be pink. Whoops, I've completely stuffed this up because I don't actually have any guidelines to play with here. And then that would kind of like that. And then the purple would be in the middle kind of a thing. So bringing that down to like here-ish. And then making that blend in. And then having that part go up to there kind of a thing. I don't know if this really makes sense, what I'm trying to describe here, but hopefully you guys kind of get what I mean. So it's like, instead of each individual letter being colored in, it would be, yeah, like an ombre or a gradient kind of letter. Fabulous. But this is going to take a little bit longer to do. But it's going to look cute if I do it this way. And I'm probably going to have to, like, obviously I haven't done a very good job of my lettering here. I'm going to need to do some proper blending to get some proper transitions and stuff like that, rather than just my general scribbles. And then put some highlights in, that kind of stuff, do some outlining, do some drop shadows, yada yada yada. It'll look pretty cute when it's done. At the moment, it just looks like a mess, but maybe a potions vial, you slowly blend the colors and look like it's transforming. That's an idea. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Drink break. I'm gonna write EG here so I know that it was just a quick sketch so I don't look it back on and go, oh my god, Jess, what have you done? But yeah, I like the idea of having the gradient. It's just that I know that gradients are going to take a lot longer to do. So it really depends on what I have time for when I actually get to setting it up, because if I'm setting it up on the weekend, well, I mean, technically speaking, my setup video is supposed to come out on Thursday. The real question is, will that happen? And the answer will probably be no. Anywho, team, I am feeling good. I'm feeling good about our color palette that we've picked out, and the pens are really pretty, and I'm just excited about this theme. I feel like last year, although I went in with noble intentions, I just didn't do the theme justice, but I'm feeling positive about this one. Yeah, Mon Ika. I wrote you in white, but that doesn't count. Yeah, it's just Mon. There we go. Mon. So team, I am gonna skedoodle, but thank you for watching. Hopefully you caught both of the secret words that we had in this video. One, to replace the word from yesterday, still starts with the same letter, and that's why I got myself confused. And hopefully you also caught the one that we had in this video. If you liked today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and all of the good stuff. And until next time, I will see you later. Now, how do you turn off a live stream? Every single time I question this.